What's up YouTube, Core51 here. It's been a long time since I've made a video, but with uni done and dusted, I'm back in the game, and it looks like a new trailer. Oh my god, who am I kidding? Freaking so much new stuff just came out like in the last few days, it's insane. And I wanted to start off with my analysis of the Shin Megami Tensei Crossfire crossover project that they've worked on. And I've got my first reactions. It's not up yet. I'm still editing it, and let's just say my reactions pretty genuine. I don't think anyone expected whatever it is we got. But wait for a follow-up video, which I explain that it actually makes sense. And as crazy as it sounds, if you look at the development side of it, all the decisions they've made towards it makes sense. So bear with me, please don't hate this game. It comes from there's an actual reason why it's like this. So I say just appreciate it, and you know, I may as well just get into it, and I'll start my analysis of the trailer itself. Of course, because of YouTube, I can't do any audio from it, so you have to bear with me. But we could definitely show the video, so that's a plus, I guess. And oh, okay, press. There you go. So let me just, you know, I'm gonna pause it as I'm going. And a thing to note about this this game is that it seems to be just developed entirely by Atlas at this point. Okay, so we get our first sort of two key art frames of the two playable characters that we actually get to have in our party. In a lot of interviews that I've read, it seems that this isn't just the 4 party members you get. Like, there's gonna be more, you know. And it seemed from the tone that they're talking about, a lot more. Not just like, I think it might be Fire Emblem levels of like amount of characters you can recruit. So we get to 2 frames. At this point, they're not named. We don't have any names tied to them at this point. But you can definitely see inspiration from Fire Emblem. You can definitely see that this character right here, the male lead at this point, definitely has some uncanny resemblance to Prince Marth from the Fire Emblem series. You can definitely see it in like his hairstyle and his attire. It's very different to what other people are wearing, because they're wearing like very normal like high school clothes, but he's wearing very royal, like very regal, very high class sort of clothing, which is very uncommon. And like you can definitely see the art that like it kind of looks a little bit like Chrome sort of like clothing. You can definitely see that he's got an armor on his arm. It's all of these things that look very very Fire Emblem, you know. It's like very Fire Emblem-esque. If you look at like, if you hear people online, they say, oh, this kind of looks like Lucina, this kind of looks like Roy, this kind of looks like another like she kind of reminds me of that main character from Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn. I can't remember his name, but kind of remember like kind of the style. But definitely a modern sort of like style. You could definitely, okay, so from this frame alone, we could see, like, so this is the key art that we've got so far. So we've got this character on the left here. She's kind of like wearing sort of like just a very urban clothing, like a very urban style clothing, you know, like a very like it's kind of like camouflage colors. It's like very unique there. You can see she's kind of risque, like she dresses very casual. This is probably just her outgoing clothes and stuff like that, because it's in Japan. She's wearing stockings. That belt looks pretty big, but I guess it's just style. I think she's wearing a bandana as well. I'm not too sure if that's a bandana or that's part of her hair, but I think it's a bandana. She's wearing fingers gloves. You look at the background, you can see. So the thing about this game that they've talked about is that it's split into like reality and a fantasy world, right? Fantasy kind of, I think the fantasy world is going to take a lot of elements from Fire Emblem, so a lot of the mystical sort of stuff might blend in that sort of style, kind of like the rips and tears of a, like that's what they kind of, I think that's what they're trying to portray, because you can definitely see that in the background there's Tokyo. I haven't been to Japan, so I'm not 100% if that's Tokyo, but it's definitely modern Japan, and you can see it kind of like bleed in to a fantasy world that looks very like old Like you see like nature kind of taking over, a lot of like different flora and fauna. Okay, so straight into the second character, we could definitely see that she seems like a kind of like a very normal sort of female protagonist. I'm assuming she's a female protagonist. She's very prominent throughout the trailer, and she kind of shares some elements of Lucina, probably just like her hair. As you can see, she's wearing a school uniform. I have a lot of things to say about why, like the reasoning why this takes place in a school sort of setting, stuff like that. There's a school emblem right there. It looks like a red shield on top of what looks like I can't really make it out properly, but a cane maybe, or a cane and wings or something like that. No, not 100% sure, but it's definitely a pretty normal looking school uniform. And then we get our main protagonist, who at this point he pretty much looks like Prince Marth. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same character. Maybe through certain circumstances he gets launched into modern day Japan, and maybe that's sort of like the story. Like he gets kind of amnesia, and then he starts learning about Japan, but he still has memories of when he was in the Fire Emblem universe or something like that. They could play on that. It could be. It's at this point it's a speculation, but it could be a way to introduce characters from Fire Emblem into this modern day setting, because they've said in interviews that they want to make this a modern day Fire Emblem. That's the key important thing here. And the thing is, like, if you can see, like, the thing that they've incorporated is a lot of bright colors, you know, like you can definitely see it's very poppy, which is one of the reasons why a lot of people were really turned off. They were expecting a dark universe with Fire Emblem characters, which is understandable if you look at the teaser trailer. I will bring up the teaser trailer at the end, and I'll talk about what I thought, which kind of makes sense now if you really think about it. The last character we have is a guy that kind of has elements of Roy from Fire Emblem. As much as I love the Fire Emblem series, I'm not heavily devout in it, so I don't know a lot of the nuances of like some of the characters. I know that Roy was a protagonist in a game. I don't know if it was popular or not, but I definitely saw him in Fire Emblem Awakening, and it definitely has that sort of like kind of bad boy sort of image, which we've got to see. Yeah, hopefully he has a heart of gold. But I'm gonna keep going with the frames. Okay, so I want to. Yep. Okay, so we see our first sort of image of like the anime cutscene. So definitely, this is what the art of the actual game will look like. That image we saw before is, I'd call it like concept art, very progressive concept art. So we freeze frame here. Okay, so in a lot of in the interviews that I've read, they've said that a lot of party members have actually appear in the trailer, but and they're kind of hidden, and like we get to see both of them here, and they actually have names to it. We see Yoshihiro Tsurugi. He looks like kind of like a butler character, but this is like it looks like a very looks like a musical sort of thing. So maybe he plays a butler character, and we get another a female character. At least I hope it's a female, called Kiria, and she looks like kind of like an idol, and like maybe Kiria is the main girl here. Huh? Actually, let me go back. What if the main guy is that? What if the main guy's name is Yoshihiro Tsurugi, and the girl that we see here is Kiria? Huh, interesting. Oh, I'm finding out new things doing this live analysis. By the way, this is a live analysis. I haven't actually watched. I've only just watched it from surface level and actually just commentating on what I see. But it says I think that's Shibuya. Like obviously Shibuya. Is this Shibuya Station? I'm not 100% sure, guys. You guys have to like. Can you guys comment on the comments below and tell me if it's absolutely Shibuya or Tokyo? I don't know much about Japan. Like I love Japan as like the culture of it, but I don't know actual locations yet. But other things that we can actually pull from this trailer is that there's a company called Fortuna. Fortuna is actually a demon from the SMT series. I remember she had like a wheel in her stomach or something like that. So maybe it's a play on that sort of thing. Maybe we don't know yet, but it's Fortuna Entertainment. Let's see, what else is there? Is there anything else cool? Okay, well, of course, obviously, we see this could be Kiria, or it could be the main girl that was in the key art that we just saw in the last frame. But she's definitely wearing like new kind of like stage armor. It looks very like it kind of reminiscent of the dancer class from Fire Emblem in a way, like a little bit, not quite like 100% short, like down to it, but it does have some elements of a like the Fire Emblem's characters. Okay, so we get our first sort of look. Okay, so from the trailer alone, we can see that all the battles seem to take place on like a stage or arena or a concert. So this makes the previous frame, if I can get to it, about the play kind of makes sense. That maybe they're famous on stage and that sort of ties into the battles in some way. Not 100% sure. So lucky I got this pause screen. This Okay. So, lose my breath here. That sword looks very like not the one he's holding, the one in his sheath looks surprisingly close to Chrom's sword and Lucina's sword. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but it's definitely it kind of looks like the same sword. The Falchion, that's it, the Falchion sword. It looks like it's the same sort of indentation, the same sort of shape. It does have like sort of elements to it. So what if this character is actually Chrom? Like he's even got the arm, sort of like the arm thing as well. But he's got elements of Lucina as well, like the boots and stuff like that. Like I haven't looked at Chrom's design very heavily yet, but like all I know is that from what we know, Fire Emblem characters will appear in this game. So what if like you don't what if you take on the, like, I don't want to say it sounds like Persona, it maybe you like summon or you cooperate with characters from Fire Emblem in battle. So this is looking more like, oh god, I'm really sorry you guys, but it looks like a really cool redesign of Chrom. Does it look drastically different? Yeah, it does. It looks really different, but it looks pretty cool. Honestly, looks like a dark mage, sort of like really cool dark ninja character. Maybe the Falchion is like, maybe he's got two Falchions, it's combined into his arm, sort of thing. We don't know, but looks really cool. It has some elements of Chrom. It has the Falchion. So we don't know for sure. It has the hair color. Kind of looks like an evil Marth. You know, there's a lot of elements to it. So, and we've got the chain and like some emblems and stuff like that. Okay, so it goes straight into a anime cutscene. We see our protagonist or character, like a new character. Whoop. Okay, wait a minute. I want to look at that frame again. I'll go back. That does not look the same as that. Hair color is different. That's a bit strange. So what if you transform? What if like out of these three characters that you see right now, he's the only one who's transformed? Maybe you transform into Fire Emblem characters. Maybe that's a working idea that they're doing right now. Maybe you assume the role of the Fire Emblem characters, or maybe they could be going crazy and thinking, oh, let's just have these characters be the reincarnations of the Fire Emblem characters in modern day, and they grab powers or like abilities from their past lives as a Fire Emblem character. That could be one of them. Actually, I would prefer that. I think that's a really cool idea. Like, I think that's a really cool idea. So, so what if that's like a final transformation of the Marth character into, he borrows elements, like maybe his past lives, because Chrom is an ancestor of Marth, so technically they're both, like maybe this new character we don't know yet could be, what's his name? It was in the billboard. Yoshiro Tsurugi. What if Yoshiro Tsurugi has like he shares a past life with Chrom, and in turn shares a past life with Lucina, shares a past life with Mark. You know, that kind, and then he draws elements of that to become like his final form, which is he's still Yoshiro, but he uses powers from those particular Fire Emblem characters. That's pretty cool. I don't know, it's a working theory, but I like to see that happen. I think that's a really cool idea, because like you see him here, you know, he's definitely got some of the color, like not all of it. Like he's got shades of blue. He's got like the emblem. He's got some bit more emblems. You can see a little more detail on his arm. Look, it's like an arm shield. So look at that pose. That pose looks like. Okay, no. I thought he was gonna finish it with that like pose like that Lucina does, but never mind. Let's see. Okay, who was that? I want to see that frame. Please give me. Okay. Who is that? That looks like the main girl. A bit different. It could be either the main girl or it could be the other girl that had the bandana, but we don't know for sure. The clothing is a bit different. I'm not sure 100% the reason why, but it's definitely taking place in modern Japan. Like we can definitely see that now. There's no beating around the bush with it. Okay, so this is the main girl. She's clearly transformed. Like I think she's transformed at this point, and that looks like the dancer class. That actually looks really close to the dancer class from Fire Emblem. So it's definitely taking a lot of inspiration, or like it's literally taking stuff from Fire Emblem and is incorporating into this. Let's see what else is there. So we think that, like, for now, I think my working title, my working theory is that her name's Kiria, and maybe all of them are sort of like idols, and they all meet up through this Fortuna Entertainment label, and that's how they become party members or something like that. Let's see. We introduced to another character. So this guy, I think, is a lot of depth to it. I think he's obviously the boneheaded knuckle guy, kind of like Yosuke, as much as I don't really say that. I mean, Yosuke was voted most popular Persona character in Japan. So I think he's just a really nice, hard-working dude. Not too much on the smarts, but you can see him. He's working at like a children's Sentai show. If you don't know, in Japan they just have like, it's kind of like how here we have the Wiggles. As much as I like you know, I don't really go watch Wiggles that much anymore, but like they have these shows where the superhero defeats the bad guys, and he's just playing an extra as a bad guy, right? And it looks like he's enjoying it. Okay, so this is cool. This kind of reminds me of a lot of Fire Emblem-esque design, but in a modern setting. So you see him riding in on the motorcycle. The armor definitely has elements of Fire Emblem like riding. It's all over it. Like it kind of reminds me of Awakening's. I think some of the Awakening's bad guys. I don't know 100% sure remember, but it definitely reminds me of those type of armors as well. So you can definitely see the shades of Fire Emblem. See him riding in. Now, okay, so come on, it's obvious now. They transform into Fire Emblem characters. This is awesome. Okay, this is what I want. So clearly he's combined with someone from Fire Emblem. This could be, I don't know who it is exactly, but like, yes, this is what I wanted. This is this shit right here. He's got chains on it, and he's like red hair. It's like a modern sort of take on like the armors and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. We get another like sort of anime shot of the female protagonists, Kiria, I think. Okay, so we get to see them in another costume. I don't know what this room looks like. It just looks like an open space with like it's a triangle, hexagonal motif. We don't know 100% sure what's going on here. Maybe they just cleared a dungeon, or they've just cleared a battle from it looks like it. He's wearing very casual clothes. She's wearing the school uniform that we've seen in the key art. Okay, so this is definitely a stage. It's definitely a stage of somewhere. A lot of concerts now have like a radial sort of stage now. It's not like traditional stage, like radial, so that the audience can like be around them and stuff like that. What we can see is from looks like it's the female protagonist on the schoolgirl, Kiria. I'll call her Kiria for now. Riding what looks like a horse mount, and her hair is completely blue now and it's long. We don't know what else is there. I mean, oh, we get another picture of no, that's a different character. That is not Chrom. Okay, wait, does that look more like Chrom? Sorry guys, I'm second guessing myself, but maybe it's just another enhanced version, like it's side B or something. But that kind of looks like Chrom. Like, I'm getting my characters mixed up. It's either the other one looks like Chrom or this one looks like Chrom, but it's definitely taking some elements of Fire Emblem characters. Okay, what is this? That looks like a dungeon. Dungeons are back, which is cool. I like dungeons. I like exploring them. That looks really cool. We could definitely see, from this image alone, it could be the fantasy world, but it could be the modern world. Maybe, because it doesn't look that inviting. It looks actually kind of bleak. So maybe the world's under attack or something like that, or the world's been plunged into darkness, which is a very cliched thing. But that's okay. We definitely see that it's darkness overflowing. We see light underneath. We see light pouring in. These dungeons look really multi-layered. I mean, you get to see, like, you can go through and then you can, like, these go into another sub-level be underneath that. That red thing could be a resting point, or it could be a secret area of some kind. We don't know yet, but that red thing does look like, because there's an entrance right there, it looks like just maybe a save point or a rest area, but it kind of looks really weird. Oh well. Okay, so we get on to wait, back it up. We get a new character. We don't know anything about it yet. This could be the second female character that was in the screenshot that we saw before. But from the looks of it, she's casting a spell that maybe it brings the fantasy world closer to the reality. We get to see like all these weird shapes and stuff like that, and the art style really is kind of showcasing that sort of like 3D space sort of thing. We get to see the billboard again. Nothing else, you know. Okay, so if you didn't believe that there was any Fire Emblem references in this game, okay, I wanted to step back. Okay, so we see in the background there's these images or like billboards of this girl that we don't know much about. It could be her, or it could be another character, but there's like just bam, like just it looks like paint, or you know, something that just came out of Splatoon, something like that. We don't know for sure, but main female girl just comes out with undresses for some reason. Not sure why. Maybe it's a story segment where she's like, that can't be me, I have a better body than that, or something like that. Working good theory. But we get to see our actual other female protagonist over there, with her stockings a bit ripped and stuff like that. The male protagonist and the secondary male protagonist. Now this character I don't know much about, but see, the thing is, I don't know whether that's Kiria or the other girl is Kiria, because they both sort of have the same sort of hairstyle in a way, so we'll see. But this could be Kiria because she has a microphone and stuff like that. We don't know, but it looks like she's casting a spell. I'm not 100% sure what that spell would do, but yeah. Now we get to see our sort of animation of the school life, which is pretty cool. What else is there? Okay, what can I say about that? We get to see that they're both in the same class. She's not really acquainted with him that much, but they definitely are in the same class. She's listening to music. We get our first sort of look at the overworld. Okay, so sorry if I sounded wrong. That's the idol that we saw before is Kiria, not the main girl. Not Schoolgirl. Schoolgirl is not Kiria. This girl is Kiria. Whether or not they're the same person, probably not at this point, after just watching more of it. But you get to walk around the city, and this looks like a dungeon of some kind. Scene. What first floor? We get our first UI elements, and it looks like Kiria is in your party from the looks of it. Like, and we got the schoolgirl and we got the main guy. It looks like from the UI elements alone, we see EP, HP, level 19. We get to see him. That looks like Chrom. That kind of looks like Chrom. Maybe they're borrowing like classes, like the class system from Fire Emblem. So you got like Lord, and maybe this one's Pegasus Rider, and this one is Dark Mage. Okay, so bear with me. That could be what they're borrowing from Fire Emblem. That looks really close actually. Because you think about it, she's on a horse, she's flying around, she's female, and she's attacking things, right? Very similar to a Pegasus Rider. And then you got the Lord class, which is very synonymous with Chrom, Marth, and stuff like that. And you got the Black Mage, which looks like like pointy hat, staff stick, and stuff like that. Okay, so what can I say about anything else that I can see? So anything sort of hidden here? Dogs, Splash, MN, nothing else. We get to see this. This looks like a entrance to another part of the dungeon. Moonlit, Tiki. Oh my god, are you for real? Tiki is a pop idol in this universe, in the modern day setting. That totally makes sense. So Tiki, I was gonna mention before, Tiki makes an appearance. Like Tiki was in that small frame just then. But yeah, okay, so let's see. Weekly music ranking top 100. Number 1 is Reincarnation by Kiria. That looks like the girl that we're talking, the Dark Mage that we had looked before. I can't really make out. Tsurugi and Tiki are second and third place, probably from the looks of it. This looks like a conversation sort of area where you're just talking to the schoolgirl about at the record label company. Is anything else? Yep, there's Tiki. Right, so there you go. There's Tiki. Tiki has been in other Fire Emblem games. She's been in Fire Emblem games with the dragon motif and stuff like that. This is definitely the Tiki. Whether or not she has the memories of the other Tikis or this is a brand new Tiki is we don't know yet. But this looks like a fantasy setting. This looks like something that came out of Fire Emblem. So maybe you get transported to the Fire Emblem sort of universe for a bit and then come back, something like that. Something along those lines. And what else? We get this character. I don't know much, but she looks like a party member at some point. This is a transformed or Fire Emblem form, FE form, right? I don't know who she looks like, but she, you know, maybe it takes elements of, maybe it takes elements from certain characters and overlaps them into one character. Summon, I don't know who that is. What is that? Look, now it's starting to become Persona, but then again, like in Shin Megami Tensei games, it's summoning as well. You know, there's also the summoning, so we don't know yet. We don't know much about this. I don't know who that is. I don't know who it is. Let's see. We see more animation. Okay, back up. Who is that? Who is that? That looks like a Fate Stay Night character, but not really. I think that's the main character. I think you can change different Fire Emblem sort of like I want to say personas. Not persona. Fire Emblem sort of Fire Emblem characters. If that makes sense. Your main character can become different Fire Emblem characters. That looks like a golem. No joke. I have nothing really to say about that. It looks like a golem. And look, see, you get a rapier, which is very, you know, kind of like a little bit of like Marth. What is that monster? That looks really sick. Okay, so we got a good look at our Dark Mage. Dark Mage character, who is most likely Kiria. And then we got this girl. This is clearly the schoolgirl, right, in her transformed form. Not 100% sure who she's supposed to represent from the Fire Emblem series. We get to see. I think this is the second transformed Fire Emblem character from the hardworking dude, the redhead dude. He's putting on what's clearly a Super Sentai inspired costume design, and we get our first look at the combat system. From the looks of it, I tried to make my head around this, but it seems to be a sort of active time battle system, but based on rounds, I hope. Because the game looks so cinematic, I'm not 100% sure what parameters are actually working. So Pegasus Rider, Dark Mage, co-op attacks. Okay, so that's the redhead dude. Okay. I really like her design. This is the bandana girl that we saw with this the ripped stockings. I like her design. She looks really cool. A lot of flowers, a lot of like really like kind of innocent looking. Bow and arrow looks really cool. I like it. So she's clearly the archer. Okay, so we got session 1. So when people like when stuff like this, like session and stuff like that, it's a very musical thing. So I think this game is dealing with the entire of like idol culture in a modern sense. You know, like everyone like a very idol approach. You know, if you compare this to Persona 5, Persona 5 is talking is doing a social commentary on the restrictions of being yourself in such a corporate sort of environment. But with this, they're taking it to a different step further. They're talking about the social commentary of maybe idol life and maybe that sort of stuff, because it's talking about it's session 0-1 combo. Good, you know, it's session clearly links with music. From what we've seen, clearly links up to idols. Tiki is definitely an idol in this case. The Pegasus Rider is definitely wearing something that only an idol would wear, very frilly, very kind of like like showmanship sort of thing. We see action. That's the archer. Yeah, that's the archer. So we see her taking turns, but we also see that. So the thing about this is, it says action for the archer, but everyone else is doing something. So what makes you think is that you're timing up from the bottom bar here. You can see that it's linking up with other characters. So maybe you can like queue up attacks and then release them, and they all do an action that all links up to each other. Okay, that looks like something that Mimiridon from Fire Emblem sort of wears, like a very like it kind of looks like that. Okay, what is this? So she's a party member, obviously. Let's see. Because the thing is, you can, some people she's attacking the other character. Wait, the schoolgirl is attacking in her normal clothes, so maybe she ran, like maybe you can't stay in that form too long or something. It doesn't seem like she's depleting anything like EP or something like that. Maybe it's like set amount of turns you can use it. Not 100% sure. We get a pseudo portrait in the background that she's waiting. It's weird, like it just looks like they're on the stage and they're just like putting on a show in a way. Like I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, you get to see the portrait behind them, like a big portrait, like stuff like that. The thing is, like, these two characters aren't in the party sort of UI, which is really strange. So they're most likely just guest characters for this battle. That's kind of weird though. But yeah, let's see. Okay, so we got the frame of the other girl that looks like Miku. We don't know which Fire Emblem character or which normal character she looks like yet. Okay, so this is an SMT shot. Whole city ruined by a disaster, right? And it looks really like that's an SMT shot. And then we get to the final parts of the trailer where the Pegasus Rider is riding her steed, which is, I mean, updated for modern. And I'm not 100% sure what she says in Japanese, but she says, I won't let you, or something like that. Like, you can't stop me, or something like that. I don't know Japanese, but from the looks of it. Yep. That's the trailer. Yeah, I mean, am I excited for it? Yeah, you bet I am. This is really cool. There's a lot of stuff in here that makes me excited. Like, I bet everyone who was watching, like, who saw the direct and were expecting a dark thing, are gonna be disappointed. And like, that's, you know, that's just can't be helped. But there's a lot in this trailer, and like, I hope my theories about it come true. There's a lot of stuff. It's coming exclusive to Wii U, which is good. I have a Wii U, which is nice. So, just my thoughts after analyzing the trailer. Be quick. 4 main characters that we've seen so far. Okay, so we got to touch on the fact that yes, they are clearly transforming into Fire Emblem characters. They are assuming the roles of the Fire Emblem characters. So what if this is? I'm gonna put this out there. What if in this game you play as these 4 normal characters that are very very normal, very typical of an SMT game. You know, SMT game, you don't really have supernatural beings and stuff like that. I mean, the reason why I say that is because this isn't a SMT mainline game. You just have to put that in your mind that this isn't an SMT mainline game. This is a spin-off, and that this is the equivalent of a Persona game at this point. This doesn't share anything from Persona. It is equivalent of Persona at this point in terms of in terms of relevance to the main series. So they can do a lot of crazy stuff, and this is cool. I'm curious about the battle system. I'm curious about the setting. I love the character designs. I think they're some of the most pretty character designs I've seen in a while. If you're gonna say that it's anime trash, then obviously you don't watch a lot of anime. You don't enjoy a lot of anime like I do. And yeah, I mean, I really hope that all the stuff that I've mentioned in this video come true. We know that one of the characters is Kiria. We know that Tiki is definitely in it. She's definitely shown as an idol from the looks of things. So I can't wait for more. I want more information. Anyway, that's my analysis of the video. I'll have my reactions and my in my news report, hopefully. Or I'll just have a separate video for my reactions. But keep posted. I'm doing another video that is a follow-up, which is a news report. I just wanted to have this sort of video out first because you guys have been waiting for it, and I feel really bad for not uploading anything for a while. But yeah, I'll be doing this. I'll be doing Fire Emblem really soon. So keep in touch, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you guys think of this trailer. Be honest. I mean, yes, it isn't what we expected, but I'm not upset about it. I think it's better for it. Like, I feel like it's a better choice to do this way. And if you'll find out in the next video why I think that. And it's because of who's producing this game. And it is a series that if you are an SMT fan, you've probably heard of it. Anyway, catch you guys later. Code 51 out. Have a nice one.